Sorry that I'm dressed like Denzel Washington in Training Day. Now I look like I owe the Russian mob $1 million by midnight. People have odd ideas about what humility is. Like just looking depressed. There's Brother Jonathan, he's so humble. No, that's not humility, that's scoliosis. Where because I had the necklace, it snapped him out of being a joke. See, people cover, they're in pain with joking around all the time. That's what I do. No. Deep hurts. So, there's something about doing it. Then we do outreach every Saturday. Little mini crusades in Section 8 housing and nursing homes. Let me tell you something. If you can preach in a nursing home, it'll prepare you well for Assemblies of God churches that you get invited to, because it's basically the same feel with worse music and less pudding. I'm not on a mission to save the world. My goal is to stay awake till bedtime. So, whatever happens in between, praise the Lord. Dry scoop of pre-workout, see what happens. What's that song they used to sing all the time when my churches I was growing up? I was like preaching in, and I would like just spend the rest of the meeting rebuking the team. It's out of the book of Job. Oh, bless it. Who said it? Were you in a meeting where I did it? Blessed be the name, the land filled with suffering. Whatever. I have trouble remembering like stupid stuff. I can remember the code to Mike Tyson, 007-373-5963. I can remember unlimited weapons in Contra, up, up, down, down, left, right, A, B, select, start. But I can't remember the lyrics. Oh yeah, it would get to the bridge. He gives and takes away. He gives and takes away. And I'm telling you, people, I was like looking for blunt objects to hit people with. Let the nations be glad. I mean, it's hard serving the Lord. Be glad. Yeah, it is hard serving the Lord with a face like that. Be hard serving anybody. Half those people only became Christians because the devil didn't want them. They're so sad. You guys take them. They depress even me, says Satan. I was not the children's pastor. I was the assistant. I was the Dwight Schrute of the children's ministry. Assistant to the children. Not assistant children's pastor. Assistant to the children's pastor. All right, great. I went to a costume store in Rhode Island by my thing. Bought like a dinosaur outfit. Dressed up in it. I thought the kids would enjoy it. It scared the crap out of like 5 of them. They ran into the sanctuary. They asked me not to wear it anymore. And then I told the kids, I said, now listen, when we do praise and worship, if you'll dance the whole time, I'm gonna jump a folding chair. And so, because it wasn't the most lively church. So even the kids, it had like bled onto the kids where we were doing like, if you're happy and you know it, clap. If you're happy and you know it, clap. So I hate depression and sadness and slow services. So I was like in children's ministry contending for a breakthrough. I'm going to break this thing through. Let's see if I can't get this children's church extended a week. So I said, if you guys all will dance. Well, they were like all white kids. It was like an Italian part. They couldn't dance. It looked like they were having seizures in slow motion. They're dancing, and then they're laughing, and the teacher's laughing. It brought joy in there. So then I'm like, I don't know if I can jump a folding chair. Whatever. So I set one up, ran. I was so sure I was going to crash. I cleared it by like a mile. So then I told him, every week, if you keep doing this and you bring friends, I'm going to add a chair. Next week I did 2. Next week I did 3. They might have the picture, because if you do say I don't believe you, me either. But I did do it, and I have photos. It's insane. 4 chairs, 5 chairs, 6 chairs. Well, when I got to 6, parents started leaving church early to film it. So we had like a paparazzi in the back. 7, 8, and then 9, I crashed hard. Split my shin open, bleeding. That children's church grew from a handful of kids. I think on that day I was going to jump like the Evel Knievel of children's church that couldn't afford a motorcycle. When I went to all the parents, and then it was good I crashed because they called a board meeting and said, you're going to have to stop doing that because it's irritating the pastor that a third of the church is leaving early to come watch you jump chairs in the back.
Absolutely supernatural.
It was supernatural. And that's the point. Thank you, Magalis. You're a blessing. You're a great lady, Magalis. I don't care what the Department of Child Services says. And I'm telling you, I'm standing with you. You're going to get those kids back. That sheriff didn't know what he was talking about. Did you know your kids are over with my wife at the 107 building? They're going straight up ballistic over there. I'm going to have them videotape one of the children's praise services. It looks like an insane asylum. Everybody dancing and singing. That's our gift to you. We give them back with the energy knocked out of them. You carry them to the car like Civil War infantrymen. For snack, we're going to start serving NyQuil. Anyway, 6, you don't have a missions director that quit missions 10 years ago because they got a bad story. What ends up happening, pastors that teach the pastoral classes that don't pastor anymore. So you end up having people teach you that they're not trying to, but because they've been discouraged, they discourage. I know a lot of you students think you're going to go out there and win the world to Christ. But let me tell you something. It's like, why don't you just smoke while you teach? Because it has the same feeling behind it. That I started dancing the best I knew how. So Adalis, who actually knows how to dance, because as she's told in her testimony, she stopped drinking at age 15. I've never heard of that in my life. 15 years old, I'm had enough of this stuff. It's ruining my life. My math grades are through the floor. Most rigid church you could ever go to is the Italian Pentecostal churches in Canada. I said what I said, no apologies. They don't like dancing, they don't like falling under the power, they don't like, I'm talking Pentecostal. We don't do that. They all left the Catholic Church, they might as well just slap a black suit and white collar on. It's no different. They don't like any of that stuff. Then I went to an Italian Pentecostal wedding. All the deacons that wouldn't let dancing in church when they put on electric slide. Finance and administration. Because I was always stunned how many people graduated Bible school, they didn't know anything about, like I would have graduates ask me that are pastoring, am I allowed to take a salary from the offering? No, you have to starve to death. You're going to pastor about 50 days and you're going to die. Yeah, you can take a salary, but then there's a way to do it legally so you don't go to federal prison. And so we teach all that. All the stuff, it's almost like up until now, I feel like you had to be a preacher's kid to know anything about the ministry. They don't tell you, just trust God. That'll get you in federal prison when it comes to finances. Where are your receipts for your deductions? Brother, I'm just trusting God. Okay, you're going to the psychiatric unit. And then I went into the room, my bedroom, and I said, Lord, if you enjoy watching me do this as much as my wife did, I will dance for you every time I get money as a way to say thanks for where I know it came from. And I'll dance in proportion of the amount of money. So if some lady gives me $5, I'll give you a little knee wiggle. What else? Faith and fitness? Oh, my wife must have added that in. I don't have anything to do with that. Everybody had to swim because they made you stay in shape. So I think that's good. You need less prayer if your body mass index is under 5 figures. Amen. So you can kind of cooperate with God rather than need a miracle all the time. I've been eating ice cream. I can't see out of my left eye. Yes, we can. God will heal you, and then stop having a pint of ice cream before bed. You got to be when Jesse Duplantis said that thing, if you don't believe in healing, you haven't been sick enough? He's absolutely right. There was a guy that was on the radio 3 hours a day, all through the 90s, called the Bible Answer Man, that made fun of every healing preacher, mocked Benny Hinn. That was his whole program, 3 hours a day. Then he got diagnosed with cancer, joined a church that prayed for the sick and said, I'm rethinking my doctrine on healing. Yeah, now you are. What can we even say in this religion? I'm so limited. You unkind gentlemen. Well, that'll blow out. Sometimes he says yes, sometimes he says no, sometimes he says wait. Bullcrap. Everyone that asks, I'm sorry for not true. Luke 17, 15 to 19. And one of them, 10 lepers were healed. Or as my cousin's youth pastor in West Virginia said 30 some years ago, 10 leopards. I mean, he didn't say it once. He preached it for an hour. There were 10 leopards. They came with their spots, and Jesus cleansed them of their spots. Meanwhile, somebody's loading a 357. If he makes one more joke about West Virginia, I'm going to fire. The host is so liked how happy I was and how I was treating my daughter, and I guess whatever I just gave off, that when we sat down in the private room, she said, here's my name and number. I want to work for whatever company you run. And then she had blue hair, which you can have blue hair and be spirit-filled. Clarita's proven that. But 99 times out of 100, you can kind of guess how somebody voted by their hair color. So that's supernatural. You can't have Christians eat all they want and have 12 baskets left. Christians eat. It's the only thing we're allowed to do. That's why most Christians are big as houses. We don't drink, we can't smoke, we can't gamble. You know, in my grandfather's era, you weren't allowed to golf. You'd lose your credentials if you golfed because gambling took place on the golf course. My dad still does not go to movie theaters. Literally, my grandfather used to say, we're a chrome bumper and a light bulb away from being Amish. What lunatic has 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish with 5,000 men to feed, not counting the women and children? 20,000, 25,000, because people used to have children back then. 30,000. In 33 AD, people didn't say, these are our golden retrievers. They're like our children. They had kids. So then offering. What did Pastor Adonis yell at you about offerings for 30 minutes for and threaten you if you don't tithe? I'm so tired of her saying that what you white people like doing. You know what she's doing after church? She's going bow hunting. Okay, not exactly a Puerto Rican tradition. I think we rubbed off on each other. She's going bow hunting and I have a chrome Cadillac. So I got some Puerto Rican and she got some white people.